Hey guys, how's it going? Beautiful scenery behind me here. I'm standing in like this meadow, right, on the base of a huge mountain right here, and got some beautiful shrubs and plants all around me. And then along the side here are these beautiful trees. I forgot the name of these trees, but the leaves they turn translucent yellow in the fall time uh, along the stream here. So really nice scenery. And I want to talk about something today that I don't think I've actually spoken about in any of my video topics, and that's twin flames, soulmates, finding your soulmate. A lot of people see, I noticed something when I got into this spiritual field. The whole idea and concept of a twin flame or a soulmate, your soulmate, your other half, has always been there. But I noticed that people, in this spiritual metaphysical field, spiritual awakening, metaphysical awakening field topics, the whole idea of twin flames and your other half and maybe your soulmate is kind of like glamorized a little bit, right? Kind of sensationalized a little bit, and a lot of people set out to make that their kind of primary goal. When am I going to meet my soulmate? Blah blah blah. And I've heard this so many times, and I spoke about it recently with a friend about this topic, and it just rang in my head like I never actually spoke about this before. So I want to talk about that now. I want to talk about what the whole deal behind soulmates is and twin flames and etc. To be blunt, to be really blunt, the whole idea of you somehow meeting your soulmate, twin flame, and then all of a sudden everything is good, blah blah blah. You're in nirvana, you're in paradise. That whole concept is kind of like a pipe dream in this lifetime you're having right now, and I don't want to I don't want to knock anybody down here or be like a dream killer, right? But I don't want to kill anybody's dreams, but it's just kind of how it is. And let me explain what I mean by that and why. But there's a upside to this. So let me explain here what I'm talking about. When you first in your inception as spirit, not in the physical body, not when you were born in this physical lifetime, but when you came out as spirit, as energy, right? When you were created, not by a God, okay? There really is no God. There is no God at all. There's the other side. There's you when you're out of body. There are angels. There's spirit. There's energy. Blah blah blah. But there is no God. That's a completely kind of made-up concept for only one purpose, for control and praise. That's pretty much it. When you're created by kind of what we call the original first beings, because they were the first ones that were kind of there on the second dimension, the other side, where we are when we're not in a physical body, where we are when we're home, truly ourselves. When you were first created by them, all they did was break off a piece of their energy, right? A big chunk of it, and then this big chunk scattered into billions and billions of smaller chunks, and that's you. And so when you were created, the first thing you did was you split yourself into male and female. All right, so if you can imagine yourself, your whole entirety, your spirit, your energy as an orb, right, as a ball of energy, and then when you first come out, you split, male, female. And by the way, neither male or female is 100% male or female. If you get my gist, both different frequencies, not gender, frequencies of male, female, both pieces of the whole, both halves of the whole are not 100%. You're a little bit of both, right? The male, the male spirit, the male half could be like 80% male, 20% female. You have frequencies of both male and female in you, and the female spirit can be 70% female, 30% male, right? That's actually how it works, and you actually see that kind of play out in a physical life when people have a physical life and their spirit, is almost half and half. I look at it as spirit, right? I look at you as spirit. I look at your frequencies, look at your energy, your percentages, etc. Each half is not 100% male or female, all right? So getting back to it. So when you split into male, female, and then what happens is you start having lives. Okay, now mind you, when you were first created, when we were all kind of first, when all the souls came out, right? This was a long time ago. Long time ago. In Earth years, trillions of years ago. And so you start having physical lives. You were never kind of allowed to choose your life per se. You were just kind of told, okay, you're going to go into a body, you're going to go into a, you're going to have a life here on this planet, in this body, into this family, and what have you. And over time, you and your other half kind of just, you guys build your own frequencies. You guys, you guys build your own characteristics. You become your own individuals, and throughout the many lives you had. And by the way, on average, people have had hundreds of thousands of lives. So if you do the math, let's say each life that you have is like 100 years, 200 years. I don't know. On some planets, with some with different life forms on different planets, those physical bodies. People that we call ETs or aliens, those physical bodies could live up to 1,000 years easily, right? Here on Earth we live up to 100 if we're lucky. So if you do the math and you average all of it together, the chances of you being kind of alive in a physical body with your other half on the same planet, in the same life, close to the same age range, so you could possibly engage in something romantic or something, the chances of that happening are like 1 in a trillion, like literally 1 in a trillion. And actually, I'll be honest, on this planet right now, with what we have, like 7.45 billion people on this planet, on Earth right now, there's not maybe a handful of people who have both their male and female counterparts on this planet having a life right now in a physical body around the same age. There's literally like a handful of people, maybe like 10 or 20 out of 7 point something billion, right? So the actual chances of you, quote unquote, finding your soulmate, finding your other half, your twin flame, and living this kind of la la land life is really a pipe dream. It really is. It's just how it is. When we come out like that, we start having lives immediately, right? And there was different waves of souls that were created, but within each wave there was a huge amount of time on the other side when we're not in a physical body. It's what religions call heaven. Well, there really is no heaven or hell. It's just there's this side, the physical world that we live in right now. We're having a physical experience. It's not who we really are. A physical body is like a car that you're stuck in and you're forced to drive it, until the car crashes or dies. But you can't get out the car until it crashes or until it wrecks or dives down. The chances of you and your other half being in a physical body at the same time on the same planet, really low. 1 in a trillion, right? With all the time that's gone in between people having lives, and there's so many planets out there. There's so many different different life forms out there, right? So many planets, so many life forms, and you've had lives on all of them. You've had lives in every continent here on Earth, pretty much guaranteed, in every religion, in every culture, and you've also had many lives on the planets, etc. And while that was going on, your other half was also having lives, on other planets, doing other things. And so, the time, just it gets so lost. The only time that you can actually kind of reliably meet your other half, if only for a moment, is when you're both out of body, right? Usually what happens is you have a life, that life ends, whether you die naturally or something happens, you go back home to the other side, and if you're lucky enough, you get to hang out with your other half before you both hop into another body. That's really the only time you really get to meet your other half. So I hear a lot about people talking about meeting the other half, asking, just kind of fantasizing about this concept of somehow kind of meeting their other half here in this lifetime right now, and everything's going to work out, whatever, you guys are going to fall madly in love and everything's going to work out in your life. That's really a pipe dream. I've heard some crazy things about, people saying, their other half something's going to happen that'll come in, and then, everything's going to be all good, or maybe their other half is just out there waiting for them, it's, and I'm not knocking anybody here, because I've heard this time and time again, and a lot of people talk about this stuff on like the internet, on YouTube, right? It's just, I'm just being real here, I'm being honest. What I really recommend people do is, besides just kind of sitting there fantasizing about essentially a pipe dream that's probably never going to happen for you in your physical life, make meaningful relationships with the people that you're going to meet in the future, or the people that around you now. It's really just about finding something that really works for you, or somebody, right? Whether it be family, friends, a relationship, etc. Just work with what you got, and try to make the best of it. You never know. You might find that you have more in common with people than you think. Sometimes you'll meet people that you've had a past life with. That's a really close feeling to meeting your other half, especially if you had a past life with somebody and they were close to you, whether they were like a family, your mother, or even a lover, etc. Like these things, these bonds are strong, and when you have that physical life and you share that bond with this person, right, that carries over. That all the memories that you have in your physical life, in whatever life, whether it's this one or a past one, it stays in your DNA, it stays in your spirit. When you go home, you remember all of it. When your body drops and you go home, you remember all of it, and then you kind of reconcile everything, and then you go into your next life. But those frequencies, that it carries over in your DNA, in your energy. So that's why when you meet somebody and you have strong feelings for somebody, or you meet somebody and you're like, holy crap, I know this person, right? I've never met this person in my life, but I just feel like I know this person. That's your that's spirit talking right there. That's the past life memories coming in. So yeah, they're more than likely you're going to meet people that you've had past lives with, more so than far more likely than you actually meeting like your other half. I just don't want people to kind of waste their time on something and then it doesn't pan out, and then they just get depressed and disappointed because they didn't meet their other half or something. That's why I'm saying. That's why I'm kind of calling it a pipe dream. It really is. But it sounds kind of blunt and maybe a little bit cruel, but it is. It is. Could you possibly be that one-off person that gets to run into their other half in this life? I don't know. I have no idea. I just know that on this planet of 7.45 billion people, there's really not a handful, maybe like 10 people, 10 or 20 people at most, who have their other half, their literal other half, also in a physical body on this planet. And not only that, they're within a close age range. It's not like they're like it's not like the female counterpart is like she's like 70 and her other half male is just being born. It's not like that at all. There's like 10 to 20 people here on this planet who actually have that. And how do I see that? How do I know that? Well, you just you use your metaphysical abilities. You look at the planet and you kind of, basically what I do is I look for the same frequencies. I look for matches of the same frequencies, pairs, etc. And you really see none at all. The number I get right away is like 20 at most, maybe. I just want people to just be realistic about this. It's really important to be realistic about this kind of stuff, especially anything involving metaphysical and spiritual topics, because a lot of it can just spiral way out there. And it sounds very nice. It sounds fluffy wuffy. It sounds like such a paradise, spiritual, marshmallow fluff. It just sounds so good, but really it's a pipe dream, and it's not really beneficial to you. It's not beneficial to your awakening. A lot of people get into this. See, that's what I actually didn't realize. When I got into spirituality, it was just an interest. It was just like a really strong, innate kind of interest in my spirit, in my soul, right? So I just went full in with it, right? I didn't realize that people got into this just to like potentially find their twin flame, their soulmate, their other half. Some people do, and I just thought that was strange, and then I kind of understood more, the psyche, the mentality behind why people are thinking like that. So that's why I wanted to kind of talk about it and address it today, because I never really made a video. I don't think I ever made a video about it. So yeah, it's the most important thing is just building meaningful relationships. But that's my take on twin flames, soulmates, your other half, etc. I hope you guys enjoyed it. The scenery is beautiful. So thank you guys, and